we go. Cabinets in the garage. Turn the lights on. The Saber cabinets finally showed up. I basically unboxed it or unpalletized 2 pallets so far. So those are the uppers over there. There's a couple, and I have another upper in there, and I have a lower in there. And this is kind of how they came in palletized. It was like this. Okay, they banded them up. They're banded up pretty well. This package is a different story. It got banged up a bit, so I don't really know if there's any damage in here yet. I have to dig into that and see. It looks like there's a little bit of scraping there. I know this one got excuse me. This one got dented right here. I think this is just a shell. I think anything else got damaged. Looks like they hit it with a fork on a fork truck. I think I could probably bang that out. I don't think it's worth shipping it back. It's no big deal. To me it is anyway. It's going to be used. They're going to be scratched up. You know, they're not going to get, damaged or destroyed, but it's inside. So maybe I can put that to the back and you won't even see it. Who knows? I haven't figured it out yet. But I just wanted to, this is where I'm at. I'm not going to go through the whole process of unboxing and unpalletizing or depalletizing them and all that stuff and cleaning up all the garbage. It's kind of pointless. But what I am going to do is I'm going to go through. I'm going to get this settled. I did some electrical on here. I will have this garage door opener installed. I put a receptacle up there. Got to wire it in. Got to run the rest of my power. You can see there's a couple more over there. I did some down here, and there's some over there and over there. And then I'm gonna put a light up there in the hallway. I gotta get all that wired in. The panel's open. I was working on that last weekend. But we're gonna walk back here. Got my heat running, so it's nice and toasty in here. 65 degrees. I'll turn the lights on. So here we go. That's the blue. Love it or hate it. That's one of the lowers. I got 2 4-drawer lowers and 1 6-drawer lower. Then I got a 30-inch cabinet going over there, and then I got my black cabinets going here. Right now, obviously, they're just sitting here. I'm going to mount them up on the wall. I have a 48-inch black cabinet going together. So you got black cabinets there, blue cabinets here, stainless countertops, blue cabinets up above. My wife gave me a hard time over it, but I think once they're all installed and the blue scheme is going to work, I think. It's going to give a little bit of something in here versus red. I will no longer have the red toolbox. I'll be selling that. I'm going to pull all the tools out and probably get rid of the ones I never use anymore. But I've had that thing for 20 years or more. So I'll be selling that on Craigslist or something. I don't want to, obviously it's not junk. I don't want to throw it away. So I won't sell it for very much money. Probably just, $500 or something. Because it's about $2,000, maybe $2,500 worth of toolboxes even back then. So there's one of the uppers right there. So they're pretty tall. So that's about it. Obviously you got the cars on the lift, which looks really sweet. I'm digging the setup. I'm digging it. I'm gonna miss not having to, not being able to drive the cars during the winter. It always sucks here in Michigan. That's weird. Those lights are popping for some reason, and they're bright. I'll turn the big overhead lights off. See the difference? It's crazy, right? I know the camera compensates for some, but man, weird. So yep. I'll be doing that this weekend. Get all these installed, and then eventually I get my material up here installed. Yeah, that's gonna look nice. Basically, this will be up against the side of that, like that. Almost the same color as the walls are now, but just the style, right? So I'm trying to work with that company still. It's been kind of hard to get a hold of them. So in the corners like so. So yeah, that'll be nice. Everyone's super busy, or they have a hard time getting materials, and it's kind of been a pain. So these cabinets took over 2 months to get. So it is what it is with the times we have. So it's coming together, though. Damn, it's been 20 years since I've been trying to plan this and have the means to do it and do it the way I want, not just throw it together. Everything I'm putting together here was time investigating and looking into different materials and funding, obviously, having the money. Do I want a 2-post lift? Do I want a 4-post lift? How do I want it set up? How's the roof going to look? It's all planned out, and I didn't want to just half-ass it and throw something together quick. Otherwise, you might end up moving because you don't like it, and you're not going to tear it down and do it again. And I always knew I was gonna rip this front garage out as well, so it's a big project, 1,500 square feet, so. All right, once I start putting these cabinets in, I'm gonna lay them out across the bottom here. That'll come next on the video, so we'll do that next. All right, and that'll be a couple days. I'm not gonna do it till this weekend. I just got the cabinets in yesterday. I'll spend a couple days unboxing them, cleaning everything up and getting it all ready. Get everything kind of moved into place, making sure I have some room. So I need to measure out where I want my start for my cabinets and figure out from there. And then I'm gonna put angle aluminum on the wall and actually set the base of the cabinet on that aluminum because it's not gonna be on the ground. It's gonna be a block high. I wanna have room to shove my floor jackets up underneath the cabinets and also be able to clean underneath them or pull the flooring out if I want. So they'll all be sitting up on top of there, but I gotta space everything out, figure out where I wanna start, and then go from there. So that'll be the next thing. When I get to that point where I get the cabinet sorted where I want, that'll be next on the video. Okay, we are back in the garage again today. So I basically got everything unboxed, as you can see behind me over there. I have the 4-foot cabinet assembled and installed. And basically I went through that process just to make sure my idea was gonna work. I used a 1 1/4 by 1 1/4 inch aluminum angle, 1/8 inch thick, that I purchased from Home Depot. That has an 8-foot piece underneath there. And basically I drilled 3/16 holes through it in about 12 inches on center, and I screwed the angle like this to the sill plate. So basically, if you look at your sill on your wall, it was attached with the angle going up and then towards you. So the screws are underneath and the cabinet sat on top of it. And what that did is it gave me about 8 inches from the top of this floor to the bottom of the cabinet over there. And my idea was, which I still don't know if I'm gonna do it or not, is I was gonna put my jack, my regular car jack, my snap-on jack, underneath, kind of tucked underneath there and get it out of the way. So when I do ever need it, which isn't gonna be very often because of the lift obviously, I would be able to pull it out and use it, and most of the time it'd be hidden away. So, but that worked out pretty well. I'm happy with that. It's very, very secure. I can basically stand inside the cabinets without an issue. And then what I did is, just to recap, I ended up buying these washers right here, 3/16 by 1 1/4 diameter washers with these number 8 2-inch long cabinet screws. It gave you screws with the kit for these cabinets to mount them. It also gave you the fasteners attached to the cabinets together. I did not use the mount screws because I thought they were a little too flimsy. They seemed kind of small to me. So as you can see, I started installing the shelving and stuff, and most of the time, depending on where the shelves are at, you can see a washer right there from where it's mounted to the wall. It's hiding the hardware pretty much. So what I did is I found the studs, and then I put a level on the wall and drew a line from the top of the cabinet down on the wall. I basically drew a pencil line everywhere there was a stud. So when you go to install and mount your cabinets, you can actually see inside the slots where the pencil line was at, so you know where the studs were at. Then you just apply your screw into there and you're good to go. I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm gonna cut some aluminum to go underneath that first cabinet. I'm gonna place that one, and then basically create my 29.5 inch gap, which is the width of the cabinet, because that's where my my under cabinet refrigerator is going to go with the glass front on it for beverages. And then I have this cabinet here, and then I'm going to have another 30-inch blue locker cabinet going here, and then the four upper cabinets across the top. Basically, I'm going to start down there, work my way across this direction, build this cabinet, and then work my way back across this direction, maintaining level. I'll probably, depending on what happens, I'll probably screw a ledger board to the wall, which you end up putting a couple holes in drywall, which doesn't matter because I'm going to cover that wall anyway, in order to hold the upper cabinets in place while you attach them. Otherwise, it's really, really cumbersome to hold on to them. But yeah, that's the plan anyway. So, for today, I spent all day working on this whole entire thing yesterday. I don't plan on doing that again today. I was thinking about it, and then, yeah, it's getting to a time where it's going to be cold all the time, and I can't do anything outside, so I think I'm going to spend the day out in the Corvette. We're going to go on a little drive today, I think. We found some curvy roads on the bike a couple weeks ago that I think I want to go take the Corvette on. It seemed pretty fun. Yeah, we went on about a 500-mile ride on the motorcycle a couple weeks ago. spent the whole entire day out on a ride going up north to Michigan. It was actually pretty nice. So, but yeah, I think we're gonna take the Corvette out today. I am gonna probably do the first cabinet, kind of sort out how I want to do it, and then install that one. So we'll probably just do that today. So, all right, here I go. Oh, I forgot to mention. I used my motorcycle jack right there to lift the cabinets up to get them on the shelf to hold them in place until I attach them to the wall. Basically, it's just a flat lift. This one's light duty, it's aluminum. And obviously, see, I've used the hell out of it with the little pads all torn up. So, it is what it is. So basically, that's how I get the cabinets up there, and then I attach them. Just slide it underneath and jack it up and kind of balance it and go. And I did the 4-foot cabinet that way and it worked. So keep doing the same thing. Okay, we're continuing the cabinets today. It's been about a week, kind of busy at work and stuff. So basically, I have the one installed. I'm trying to be easy with the camera mount because it's making noise, but so I have the one installed. It's the same height as the one sitting over there, and I kind of put the plastic countertop on there, just kind of get an idea of the spread and overhang of this stainless steel top that comes from Saber as well. This is one of theirs. I have 2 of these. My plan is that pretty much ends up flush, or maybe just about the same overhang as this edge here. Basically, that'll end up sliding over. There's going to be about a 29.5-inch gap, which is one cabinet width. And I found a refrigerator that's 29.5. So I want to put a refrigerator right here for beverages. So it's an under-counter refrigerator, and it'll fit in roughly the same opening. I'll have to make some sort of a frame or mount to sit it on. I haven't decided how I'm going to do that yet, but I can do that later. Anyway, I get a little impatient, so sorry. But I have laid out the cabinets, kind of how they're going to go. So I have another about 90 inches across. So the 2 base cabinets, and you pull the drawers out in order to get to the screws in the back. Plus it makes them lighter to deal with. So that cabinet is going to go there. This cabinet's going to go next to it, and then I have a wardrobe cabinet or a locker cabinet going right here. I'll cut a hole in the back of it for this plug because I want to mount my chargers inside the cabinet for my cordless drills and tools and all that stuff. So anyways, there's my aluminum angle. I drilled in holes about every 10-12 inches or so to screw into my sill plate. So I'm going to go do that right now. Basically, I'm going to put it on center because it's a little bit short on purpose. I didn't want to see it from the sides. So I'm going to go attach that, flush, and then level. So I'm going to go with the bottom of the angle, flush with the wood, and then the level across the top of the angle as it sticks out towards us. So I'm going to set you up, and I'm going to show you how I did that. It's really, really easy with the fasteners that I purchased at Home Depot. Okay? Okay, so basically, I'm going to start at one end. I got it roughly placed about where I want it. I'm going to drive the first screw in. I'm going to do my best. I'm by myself, so it is what it is. I'm going to place it about where I want it. Which looks like I'm coming close to the screw that's over there, so I'm going to slide down a little bit. I'm about flush, so let's start on my first one. So I'm going to drive that in, set my level on here, go down near the middle or the end, level it, and then drive a screw in there. The easiest way, because I can't see the hole, so lift it up, look at my level. About right there, I'm going to pick the hole and drive the screw in. Unless that happens. So that's pretty good. Okay, I'll drive the rest of the screws in. First I'm going to validate when I'm level of this one over here as well. And if I take my level across there and see where it falls in reference to the bottom edge of that cabinet. This one's long enough I can spread the gap. So I can stick it right here, kind of hold it where it's sitting here, and then basically see where it sits. So I might have to make some minor adjustments, or grab another straight edge and run across the bottom just to check it. But you need to make sure they're the same height all the way across. So I'm going to do that. I'll go get a straight edge, hold that level there, and check that side, see where I'm at. Probably adjust this a little bit if I have to. That's it. Let me get it installed. Okay, I got the angle mounted, as you can see. Now let's get this cabinet mounted. So basically what I do is I'm going to slide it forward, I'm going to tip it, I'm going to slide my motorcycle jack underneath, then lift it up, place it on top of the ledge over there, and then kind of position it where I want it, make sure it's level, and then measure the distance of the gap between the cabinets, and then we can attach it. And I'll put a screw probably at the top first, and then a couple down the back at the bottom. You can see, because this has OSB on it, you can see the screw hole alignment where the studs are at. Otherwise you have to mark them. Well, I may have to mark them anyway. It looks like there's a couple of them you can't see. They're very, very hard to see anyway. So I think I'm going to end up getting two. I think there's a row right here next to the stud here, the receptacle, and then there's another one right around here somewhere. So, all right, I'm going to do that. This is about center right here. So my eyeball kind of where that one's at, and this is all around. So it's easier to see through the back of the cabinet. There's another one right here. I just found a screw head, and I'm using my level to make a nice plumb line. We'll go back to center of the screw. Up there. Do the same thing again. Just so I can see through the back of it. This one is obvious. I'm doing a couple more over here. So one right here. This will be helpful on the big locker cabinet, especially, because you have to put in so many. So, about right here. Looks like I missed a little bit on this one. I'm just going to follow the same line I already did. Obviously, you have a pretty good landing to drive your screws through, so. And then I'll do that one after I get these other two cabinets in. So. I'm just going to shove this forward. This board's been pretty good. At least I slide across it pretty easily. So I'm going to end up about right there. This being a nice low jack, makes it easy. So I can just tip it, and hopefully it doesn't slide backwards. Place my foot behind it, shove it on it. Kind of pull it forward a little bit. Once it gets up a little bit, I can kind of manipulate it around to get it so it sits level. So it's not so tippy like that. So I can let go of it now. Now, if you don't have one of these jacks, which most people won't, probably going to have to be someone to help you, or what I thought about doing before was making a ramp out of wood, kind of blocking it up to get to that height and the position where you want it. Or you probably pull all the shelves out, excuse me, place the back of them on the ledge, lift up the front, have someone to shove some wood underneath to hold it up for you. But this just makes it easy for me. Because I can position it where I want it, wiggle it around, get it up against the wall, sits up against the wall nice. Kind of line up my markings. See, it's kind of above the angle right now. I can lower it down on the angle. Actually, I can sit on the angle, hold it down, and have it up against the wall. I'll stick it out here just to hold this edge up. So I keep the weight That's a little too much because it pulled away from the wall. Just gonna back down a little bit. Okay. Sitting on the angle. Now I can position where I want it. I have a pencil line here that I measured out. I'm going to line up to that and then validate with my other cabinet before I put any screws in. Tape measure. Measure the front. 29 and 5/8. A little over 5/8. Slide this over a little bit. Hopefully my wife doesn't open the door. Up through there. $29.5. So I would say the wall, or maybe when I screw it in, I'll pull in. So this is exactly 29.5. So I'm going to pop all the screws back. And then check it again. So I'm going to do one of the upper screws with one of these large washers. Large fender washers with a 3/16 clearance hole. Luckily this comes off, so it's out of my way. I can find my scribe lines, or my pencil lines, which is, there's one right there. And you drop the screw. Should be right there somewhere. Can't really see it. Apparently, I don't know. Can't see it. Should be right there. The good thing is, I can measure on the back wall. The cabinets aren't there. I'm sorry, the drawers aren't there. I can measure my 16 on center. There's enough room behind the brace in the middle to tape it. I can measure out my 16 on center, which it looks like is falling right on where the web is at. Yeah. Falling right where the web is at is why I couldn't see it. Measure a couple times, don't screw up. Unless this is one of those spots. Yeah, it is. So yeah, that's not the main stuff, the one I nailed to. On that other side, that is a so I laid off this one here and 16 over isn't that one. So take my level on here to see where I'm sitting. That is dead plumb. Check this way. Dead plumb. Value my dimension, 29.5. I'll check the front again. It's an 1/8 inch, so it's a little bit, but it's going to follow the wall. So, all right, I'm going to drive the rest of the screws in, and then we'll get ready for the next one. Okay, so we're starting ready to install the second cabinet. Basically, these cabinets are meant to bolt together as you install them. So as you can see, there's a set of holes right here. There's a set on the bottom as well. Those will match up to the ones obviously on this side. And they give you the hardware in the kit. There's some 6mm bolts in there. You can see them right there. And basically what I'll do is I'll put them up on the jack, same thing, put it in place. Then I'll bolt it together, not tight, just enough to hold it. And then drive the screws into the back, because I want to make sure that it's tight up against each other. Drive the screws into the back, into the wall, and then tighten up the ones bolted together. At that point, we'll shift over to building the locker, which is pretty straightforward. But these drawers have little clips on the side of the drawer themselves, like a little finger. One side you lift up, the other side you pull down. So even on the larger drawers have 2 of them. So on the right side you lift up, on the left side you push down, and you can pull the drawer straight off. And then when you put it back on, you just slide it in, line it up nice, and close the drawer all the way. And generally they will clip in place. So you have to do this or you can't get to the fasteners on the inside. Plus it makes them a lot lighter when you go to install them. So, this one's shoved all the way in right now. You can see right here. So let me go do that. I'm gonna get this one in place. I'll have to find a place to put the camera because I don't have a place to sit it. I don't know. I guess I could literally just maybe set it here or something. I don't know. On the motorcycle maybe. I'll find a place. I'll sit it somewhere and you can get a bird's eye view maybe. Maybe I'll just put it up on top here. You're actually sitting on top of my, what will be soon my old toolbox. I'll end up removing all of my tools from that one. And I've had it for 25 years. It's pretty old. Well, maybe not quite that long, but I started out with it that long ago easily. And I've added on to it over the years. Maybe I'll bring it into work, into the shop, and offer to some of the guys at work or something. For, I don't know, $400 or $500, something like that. It's weird, that's my wife moving stuff. Lift definitely makes it easier. There we go. Shove it together. I'll lower it down. Hold it against the wall. Put it back up in here, in the front, just to hold it up. Keys, nuts, the bolts, and they do give you mounting hardware with it, but these screws to me seem a little too small. So I went to Home Depot and bought actual cabinet screws, like I said previously. So I like to start in the back, so I can, it's the hardest to get to, but I can wiggle the cabinet around. And I'll end up putting one through this cabinet this way, and another one through this way, and then opposite on the bottom on the back, just to kind of separate. If something comes loose, I'm still bolting from the other side or something. I don't know. It made sense when I started doing it. And the holes are kind of fishy to get to. This by far, in my opinion, takes the longest, especially when I was doing the pantry wall over there, the locker wall over there. This took a bit to get sorted. Maybe I'll do this front one first. Got that to line up with the nut starter so it doesn't come apart. Let's see if I can get this across the back here. Yep, line right up when I did that. That's good. Hopefully it won't spin on me as I try to put the nut on. Yep, that's spinning on me a little bit. There we go. Well, I think I'll do is I'm it all loose like this, and then take a 6mm socket and a 6mm wrench and drive them together. Yeah, there's not a lot of play in these bolt holes. So might have a little bit of oil slide in the hole. You can see the hole on the other side right here. Yeah, there's a little well slide through the hole. I'll grab my socket. Trusty 10mm. So I can use that to hold on to a little better. this through. Again, if you give a little bit of tap, maybe I'll put on the driver a little bit. It's getting warm in here now. Make sure it's going the right way. Yeah, that's it. I'm thinking the bottom one, the bottom rear corners, probably the worst. Because you can hardly get to them and the corner doesn't help. So let's see if I can get the rear one. Well, it went in there. Not saying I could reach it, but it went in there. I'm using the tip of my fingers to try to thread it on. Maybe I can use this socket extension as a means to hold on to it. So I'm placing my finger, my index finger on the other side. And up and off. Yeah, I think I just have to play with it and fiddle with it until I get it on there. Using the tip of my fingers. So I'm using my index finger as a means to hold it on center and then using my forefinger to try to spin it. Yeah. Close. Try this again. If you had a socket that was magnetic, it might work better. So this is basically fighting with installing these. I'll end up doing that with the locker cabinet and all the uppers doing the same thing. Except the uppers, obviously, yeah, obviously are much smaller, so they don't have to reach in as far. This being the back corner is the hardest to reach. I think you just gotta have patience. So I'm gonna fiddle with this. I'm not gonna record this whole time because I'm trying to hurry. So. Okay, I got the bolts installed and I got them tightened up. So I use this little adapter with my 10 mil, my cordless there, and basically that's without any screws in the wall. They're bolted together right now and they fit nice and plumb. They're flush. So now I'm gonna put the screws in the back wall to anchor it in, and then I can go grab the locker cabinet and start building the locker cabinet. It comes with instructions. That's pretty straightforward. It does take a little bit of time, and those are the only ones you actually have to assemble. So I'm not going to really video that whole thing. I think I did that on one of these cabinets when I built it. I built them a couple years ago and I showed it. As you can see, if you didn't notice previously, this is the middle one's the new one. The outer ones are the older ones. It's kind of a little bit of a different finish, which is why, another reason why I chose to switch colors was because I had a feeling that was going to happen. And with this just being a black wall and there's two shiny ones on either side, it doesn't really stand out that bad. That, and I wanted a little bit of contrast in color in here because this whole room is basically grays and black. So, figured blue looked pretty nice, and I think it does. It'll look really good when it's done. Alright, so I'm going to finish attaching this one up, and then I'll assemble the locker cabinet. Once I get that assembled, ready to install, I'll cue you guys back in, because I got to pop a hole in for that receptacle right there. I'll pull the cover off, measure out on the center of it, and I'll drill holes in the back of the cabinet so I can put it over top of the plug. I'll put the cover on through the cabinet, so when you open the cabinet, you just see the nice cover without a weird hole in the wall. So All right, I'm gonna get going on that. Okay, we've got a big cabinet, last locker cabinet assembled. And this is what I did for the receptacle. It's in the wall back there. I just cut two 2¼ inch holes. I measured on the center, so these shouldn't matter. The receptacle should go around between here and here, and I should be able to put a cover over top of that. So based on that right there. What I did is I measured from that cabinet over and then measured from the corner over and up. So let's see how it fits. Okay, and lift it up. So this is a little more tippy, obviously, because it's taller, but I should be able to do the same thing. I did this with a 4-foot wide cabinet, and that was questionable, but it happened, so. I need to make it as flat as possible. It's right there. So now I can move it around. Not to bang up the wall. Did damage that wall there a little bit. I'll have to fix it. So I'm going to pull it towards me as I put it in place. So it is up against the wall already. I'm going to pull back and slide over. Okay, so basically I can use the bolt holes at the bottom around there to line up to that cabinet over there. But I'll give you a little precursor look, I guess you can say. That's how it lined up. So my receptacle's looking good. Right there. So I was thinking about drilling these holes through into here and then using using a smaller drill and then using those little sheet metal screws that comes with. They kind of look like this. I'd have to go buy more though. Buy some like this, and then I can attach this upper portion here to the side here after I do the bottom and get everything lined up, just to kind of lock it together more. And then I would end up doing the same thing with the upper up there, the same thing, because it's shallower, so I'd have one hole there and then nothing there. So I was thinking about drilling that one through up there if I could and putting the bolt up there. So that's kind of what I was thinking. So let's see, let me get this thing lined up. I'll get the bolts installed. I already lined up my lines for the studs. And then I think I went high enough. Maybe I didn't. But I can see where they are right here. So you can see a line here and a line here. So that's no big deal. So I'll get those couple of screws in there, a couple more up there. Then obviously I got my ledger it's sitting on, everything lined up. And then I'll look at what it takes to drill the holes in over there. Well, as you can see, I kind of got a little bit of a head. We got the pantry cabinet installed completely. I got to put the little latch mechanism on and that's it. I self-installed hinge on them. And I got one of the uppers installed. Basically, you remove the doors in order to attach it. I was only able to get the top corner bolt into the upper cabinet. And then I used these little self-tappers right here. And basically went through the existing holes in the small cabinet here, the pantry cabinet, and screwed it underneath, as you can see here and here. And then basically drove them together, so they're both basically screwed together. So you can see one here, which it'll be hidden because the shelving goes up into here somewhere, and then the other one's actually behind here. Same with the top. There's another one at the top too that's kind of buried. But I mean, if this was a problem, I could also probably grind it or cut it short right there if I wanted to. I don't think it's going to be an issue, so. Some of the fasteners overhang anyway, depending on how you mount them when you put the cabinet together, like these here and such. So, but I'm going to grab one of the others. Actually, I think I'll put this one together. It's got a key mechanism, excuse me, with some shafts, which I have to find where I put those. I think they're back in the cabinet, and then you got your key here, and then a lock mechanism. I'll get that put together, and then I'll pull the other 3 upper cabinets in here, and we'll hang one. Basically, I was able to hold the cabinet up by myself, and then put the 1 bolt in, and it was enough to hang there. But what I want to do is I'm going to take my level and draw a pencil line across there to make sure I'm staying that same line all the way across. And if I want to or I have to, I can kind of push up a little bit to maintain level. So, all right. So this is how I've been installing them. Take the doors off. You have 1 bolt ready. Slide it through the upper bolt hole in the back. So just find it. In this case, it's not lining up. The sheet metal on the cabinet itself isn't lining up. So I'm going to set this down. This has happened. Got my impact, my little driver here. I'm going to run it in. I probably should check first, but trying to minimize up and down the ladder. The last one went in just fine. Like the sheet metal is a little misaligned in the manufacturing process. Slide that one in. At that point, you can almost let it rest. Take my other hand, put it on. Well, I'm holding on to it. Just to get that one started. Start it. I run it all the way in until it's not loose. And let go. So right now, this one's not secured to the wall. Because for some reason this cabinets are a little bit tweaked. I'm trying to get it pulled down because I have a level line that drew across, trying to get it pulled down and set on that. So these 4 bolts are in between these cabinets, and this only has the 1 obviously. I'll put the other ones in there, and I'm looking at my line again. Looks like it's starting to go up pretty high. So I'm going to take it through in here, I'm going to pull down a little bit so I can get it to kind of level out. It started out level, and I think maybe one of these cabinets, maybe this cabinet might be a little bit tweaked, a little bit bent. So maybe I'll pull those screws out of the wall or break them loose and try to get this whole thing to settle down. But obviously I'm going to put all these in first. And we're doing the same method, one way, one the other way. What that means is, one I'm pushing through this way, the other one I'm going through this way. I don't think it matters, but what am I doing? And then obviously I'm driving the screws wherever there's studs on the back wall. And this countertop is high, but I had it set up like a bar height. My intention is to have a couple bar stools sitting here so you can sit on and work on something, versus being low to the ground. That I want space underneath and easy to clean under. The drawers, you don't have to like lean over as far into the bottom drawer. Versus it goes, say 4 inches, excuse me, 4 inches lower. Right now, compared to a kitchen, it's about 4 inches high. But this is the median bar top height. It's about the average bar top height. Top to the top of this countertop. So it's a little bit off. Take my driver. Put it on. That's it. see if I can get this cabinet to come down a little bit. Seems like I can. So that's what I'm gonna do. Play with that for a while until I get a fastener, maybe up in this section here, and then go backwards and hold it up against the wall. You know, it isn't that bad. It's like it's about 3/16 from there to about the middle of that second cabinet, right there, the second wall cabinet. 3/16 down. I can do this and pull it down. Yeah, so that's good right there. So what I'll do is I think I'll put a fastener in over here, pull it down, and tighten it up. Special driver. Goes right here somewhere, right? There it is, right here. Bought some screws to do the countertop. There you go. Number 8, 3/4 inch long, they're made to go from metal to wood. And those are going to pull the countertop out to the bottom up. So I have lines right here, and I'm following the line up. So it's over here. So I think I may have to hang on it first. And then drive it in with one hand, which is going to be fun. Nope, that did it. Nope. Yeah, that's good. Good. So I'm going to drive the rest of them in. I'll do all the wall ones first. And I'll pull the cabinets together. I can't get this one right in the middle. So this one's right here. About right here. Basically, these wall ones, these two right here are only going to get 2 screws per cabinet into the wall. The other ones, those two over there have 4, just the way it landed. Yeah, this has 4, this has 4. This is only getting 2. Because the stud landed about right here and about right here. They're 29.5 inches long. So, it's odd. Doesn't look like the cabinet lands with the countertop exactly, but I'm going to find out here in a second. So I'm going to stick a level on the end right here. Right here. And the upper is about, you know what? I don't really know how that's even possible, but it looks like the end of that upper is about the end where the countertop sits, which is weird. I don't know how that happened. This was set plumb, so it's just stacked up that way. Once countertops installed, it'll be fine. Then we're going to have a backsplash on here. I'm going to do, my wife picked out some black octagon. I think it's octagon. It might be octagon or hexagon. I don't remember the exact shape, but it's that type of shape. by 6 inch. See right here? It's a little dented in right there, and it's kind of pulled apart a little bit. I think this one got tweaked or dropped pretty hard. You see that top corner up there as well? I mean, it's not that bad. And also down right here. I think this whole cabinet was kind of banged a little bit or dropped. I'm not really concerned about that. It doesn't affect the actual use of it. I mean, you can hardly see it. I think once everything's together and there's a little bit of touch-up paint on there, you won't even notice. I mean, these are going to be in here probably forever. So I'm not really too concerned about it. And I'm going to be using these, so I'm surely going to take a little more damage than this. I'll try my best to keep them as clean as I can, but I like to use my tools. But it's fine. Honestly, if it was probably something I would have picked up at a local store, I'd probably return it and make a fit about it. But since I have to go through the process of shipping, it kind of makes that hard. So you're not going to get any of these cabinets at any store anywhere. You have to order them online. That's the only way to get them. Even the ones you get at Home Depot, you're not buying them. You got to order them online. And then getting them is almost impossible because of what's going on right now. You know, and just like a lot, most of these type of things you buy, they're made in China because it's cheap to manufacture in China. It's a bummer, but it is what it is. So I'm sure we could manufacture these here and not cost as much more. I mean, damn, it was like $500 just in shipping. If a company in the United States manufactured these, we could probably save on the shipping costs alone. So, I mean, these are $5,000. $5,000 for all these, and for the 2 countertops, and then the one center one here. That's a lot of money for these cabinets. I mean, they're worth it, but I know we can probably build them in the United States for the same price. So, especially if we got a nice manufacturing process with equipment and whatnot, which I know we can make. We're pretty good with that stuff. But anyway, so I'll have to get some of this blue touch-up paint. I'll try to source Obsessed Garage and see if I can get a paint code or something. Get some touch-up paint, and then I'll just touch them up. I mean, I had to touch up the lift. The same thing happened on the lift. You're not going to return that because it's got some scratches in it and little nicks here and there. You're not going to return a lift, but you just touch it up and deal with it. It is what it is. I mean, the lift came from Germany. Obviously, in shipping, things happen, and I wish everyone was super careful, but they're not. So, trying to package these boxes up and shipping is just the way it is. So anyway, so I'm going to get fastenings back together. I have to put all the doors back on. I'm going to basically clean up my mess from pulling them apart, but I'll get the doors all back on first, get the shelf installed like that one, and then I'll plan on taking a vacuum cleaner, vacuum all the inside of the cabinets out. I'm going to slide this countertop over. I want to see how that one fits. I'll probably cue you guys in to get on that just to look at the countertop. And then I have to get a piece of aluminum, or I'm going to put angle aluminum on that edge to capture that edge of that countertop, which I forgot to get. I was at Home Depot today and I forgot to grab it. So, and that should be it for now on the cabinets. Eventually here I'll start transferring all my tools over from my old toolbox, right there. Transfer all the tools over for the ones I'm going to keep, and then the ones I don't, I'll just leave in it, and whoever gets that box next, they're theirs, they're free. So, or part of the cost or whatever you want to call it. That's the other countertop right there, still wrapped up. Okay, so let me get all that together, and I'll cue you guys in back when I'm doing the countertops. Okay, here we go. It's been probably 3 months since I've done a video. Work has been crazy. We have so much stuff pushing through. Super busy. I ended up making multiple trips out to Tesla in California. So that took a lot of my time, and then just haven't had a chance. So I did get everything installed, as you can see behind me. I just did the refrigerator. Made some brackets over at work. It's kind of hanging there. I think I'm going to put a tie bar to hold the sides together so it's not bending it down so hard. That refrigerator weighs about 150 pounds, or maybe 120 pounds, somewhere around there. And then the countertops are on. What I am doing is I end up using a tool. I can't think of the name of the tool. It's a drill style tool that causes to be able to drill from here on an angle and then attach a screw into here. So I tied the two together. versus having something in the way because you couldn't put the refrigerator underneath. And then those are the tiles I'm going with, and that pattern up on the wall for a backsplash, just to make it easier to clean and whatnot. But that's kind of what's going to be hexagon tiles. And then they got the metal. The metal's all installed. That took some time, as you can see. Kind of swinging around a lot. Kind of a little bit slower. It's getting there. So that's the rest of the tiles right there. There's going to be tile along that whole entire section there, and then next to the cabinet against the wall in the corner over there. And then starting to absorb my collection of Milwaukee tools in there. And then the rest of the tools haven't been transferred over yet. Obviously I've been using those cabinets over there. So far, everything that I have purchased for my garage project, including my mini split, I bought some mini splits in up there, through the whole entire winter, even at, I think it got down to near about 5 degrees, it still worked fantastic. The only time I ever had an issue, we had kind of like a really, really heavy snow. It was like 12 inches of snow. It got kind of iced up, but it went through a freeze-thaw cycle a few times, and then it defrosted itself. But I believe in heavy snow conditions, regular heavy snow conditions, it probably wouldn't work very well. You'd have to put some sort of guarding or something around it to stop the snow from getting drawn into it, which is quite difficult. Kind of defeats the purpose. Maybe if you had some sort of awning or shielding around it to guard it from that happening, but still allow enough air to go around it, it'd probably be okay. But yeah, it's coming along. Technically, for my last things I want to do is the tile, and then transfer my tools over, and then I'm putting a TV with a sound bar up on that wall. And then, and I have to do my tire changer and wheel balancer will be sitting over there, which has already been wired for it. So you can just plug it right in. But I'll have them sitting in the, I think this side I'll have the tire changer, and then this corner over here I'll have the wheel balancer just sitting in here. And that's it, and the garage is done. Done. All the wiring in for the lift is all done, so I can have my my battery tenders all plugged in right there. That's pretty much it. It's there. The lift is actually plugged in over there now with a quick connect. That is it. Got to clean the windows off still. I haven't pulled the stickers off of it. It's been, over a year, and I still haven't done it. So that's one of the things I'll do. Get through and do a couple cleanup, and then I'm going to do some more insulating around the end door. I think I'm going to put a piece of insulation on the two sides to help some of the pushing or pressing wind. That being the east side, that being the west side of the building. It gets a lot of wind, winter wind and stuff. But yeah, refrigerator. I'm pretty happy about that. I'm going to add some water and some Coke and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, it's a garage fridge. So when I get everything all set, I'll do a closeout video with the countertops and stuff all done. That's basically the building phase is complete. I'll have to do something with that metal. I'll do a closeout video on that, and then basically we'll just go from there. And I'll eventually get the rest of the stuff installed. So, thanks for watching.